All right, 3 down, 3 to go. 7.0, 7.4, test review, section 4. This one's a little bit longer. Yay! Tell whether each equation is written in general form, vertex form, or factored form. Then write the equation in another form. So, number 1. That is not what I needed to start out. Okay, let's try that again. Number 1. We have y equals negative 4.9 parentheses x plus 4.5 squared plus 2. Okay, so by now we should hopefully know that this is in vertex form. Why do we know that? If you don't, because the parentheses squared. That tips us off that we are already in vertex form. The easiest form to go to is general form. And I think that in this, I go to general form in every single problem. So it's just a matter of identifying first what you have and then getting it into general form. So we're in vertex form. In order to get to general form, I'm expanding everything, combining like terms, multiplying everything out, basically using everything we just did in the first 3 screencasts to get this into another form. So the first thing I'm doing is writing out the parentheses, because they're squared, as the 2 sets that they really are. So that's what we have first. The next thing I'm going to do is either with an area model or by FOIL, I am going to multiply out these 2 parentheses, leaving everything else the same. So y equals negative 4.9, leaving that alone. And now I'm going to multiply these 2 parentheses here. X times x gives me x squared. X times 4.5 is 4.5x. 4.5 times x is 4.5x. And 4.5 times 4.5 is 20.25. Ugh, I almost fit that in. Okay. And then the plus 2 on the end. Okay. So continuing with this set of parentheses here, I'm going to combine those like terms in the middle. So y equals negative 4.9 times x squared. The 4.5x and the 4.5x combine to make 9x. And the 20.25 on the end is still there. Plus 2 on the outside. Okay, continuing on, I take this number out front, multiply all the terms in the parentheses by that. So y equals, that gets me negative 4.9x squared minus 44.1x minus 99.225. And then, now that I've multiplied that out, my parentheses are gone, but this plus 2 is still hanging out. So, last thing left to do, just combine these 2 guys here, because those are the 2 constants. I don't have an x squared or an x term. So, final answer, I should have wrote a little bit smaller, but my final answer is going to be y equals negative 4.9x squared minus 44.1x. When I add those together, I get negative 97.225. So of course we can't start with a nice easy one. We got to start with decimals and such, but there we have it. So I went from vertex form, which was the original, and then I wrote it in another form, which is general form. And that's pretty much the gist of this whole page. All right? Vertex form, they're all going to look exactly alike. Factored form, pretty close as well. So let's go and look at number 2. Number 2, y equals 2x times 3 plus x. So this one is in factored form. It doesn't have the parentheses squared. It has a factor 2x, which is the greatest common factor, greatest common variable on the outside, and then your set of parentheses. This is really easy to turn into general form because all we're doing is distributing. 2x times 3 is, no, it's not 2, that's for sure. It's 6x, and 2x times x is 2x squared. Now remember, general form should have your x squared term first, so I'm just going to turn this around. Y equals 2x squared plus 6x. There is no constant on the end, so I don't have to worry about that. And there's general form for number 2. Whole lot easier when it's in factored form to go to general form than it is for vertex, but either way, it's got to be done. Number 3, we have y equals x minus 3 times 2x plus 5. So looking at this, again, you should be able to tell that this is in factored form to begin with. Going to go to general form. So general form just says I have to multiply this out. So here, if you want to, you can use your area model, 2 by 2, x negative 3, and 2x and 5. And let's fill this baby in. This is 2x squared, negative 6x, 5x, and negative 15. So when I write that out, I have y equals 2x squared minus 6x plus 5x minus 15. Combine your like terms here, and your final answer, y equals 2x squared minus x minus 15. And there's the general form from factored form into general form for number 3. I know I'm going kind of quick, but at this point you're probably really sick of hearing my voice. Number 4, y equals negative 2 times x minus 1 squared plus 4. Okay, so again, parentheses squared means we have vertex form to start. Vertex form means we have to start off by getting rid of that squared. So I expand that out. And then from there, we multiply out those parentheses. So y equals 2 times, this gives me x squared minus 1x plus 1. When I multiply it out, y equals 2 times x squared minus 2x plus 1 plus the 4 on the outside. We go through, distribute this 2 to everything in the parentheses. Y equals 2x squared minus 4x plus 2. The parentheses are now gone, but I have to bring down the plus 4. Combine your two terms on the end. Y equals 2x squared minus 4x plus 6. Oh, that's not what I got. What did I mess up? Oh, I didn't do a negative. Hate it when I do that. Get to the end. Go back and look and I mess something up. Okay, so just real quick, go back and touch up. There should be a negative 2 out front here. That's not going to show up on your paper, is it? I'll do it in red because that's how. So this should be a negative 2. So when I distribute, this should be negative 2x, a positive 4x, and a negative 2 there. So this is negative 2x, positive 4x, and a negative 2 plus 4 then ends up in a plus 2. So there's the correction. Please make that. So sorry. Hey, I've done pretty well so far, at least until somebody calls me out on it in class. I'm sure I've made a mistake somewhere else, but that one I caught. All right, number 5. Y equals, oh yay, more decimals, 0.5. I don't know why there's a parenthesis there. Hopefully there's not one in yours. I think I actually made that correction. Go back. Just kidding. 0.5 times x plus 4 squared minus 2. So here we go again. We are indeed in vertex form. Going to go to general. So let's expand that. There, minus 2. Put these guys together. So y equals 0.5. I'm just going to put it together. So this will be x squared plus 8x plus 16 minus 2. I skipped a step, but that's just multiplying that out. Multiply by your 0.5. So y equals 0.5x squared. Half of 8 is 4x. Half of 16 is 8. And then the minus 2 comes down. So you end up here, y equals 0.5x squared plus 4x plus 6. There you are for number 5. And number 6 coming up. Number 6, y equals -2 times x minus 2 times x minus 5. This one is in factored form. This 2 outside we can multiply by the first set of parentheses only, so y equals -2x plus 4. And then the second set of parentheses stays the same. And now I can either use area model or I can FOIL, whichever one works for you. I'm going to stick with the FOIL here, so -2x times x is -2x squared. -2x times -5 is a positive 10x. 4 times x is positive 4x, and 4 times -5 is a negative 20. Combining your like terms, here and here, we end up with y equals -2x squared plus 14x minus 20. And that is in general form. So again, each one I took either from vertex or factored, so you had to tell what form it was in, and then wrote it in the other form being general form. It just says to write it in another form. Doesn't say what other form. General is the easiest. I went with that one. Okay, so section 4 done.